Okay, now let's. Yeah, I don't have to do the 1 because this it wasn't a negative, it was a positive 0.4. Is the quiz no calculator? I think is okay on the quiz because there's. Yeah, I think calculator is okay. Let's check it one more time, but I think it is. Um, so then we can go from. No, it's to the 0.4. So now we'll go from radical to exponential form. And let me find an example here. Oh, here we go. The cube root of x squared. That's not a very good pen. That's not very dark. I'll go purple instead. So if I want to change this to exponential, that becomes x to the second power, and then that 3 goes in the denominator to give you x to the 2/3. If I go square root of y, all of that to the 5th, well, that's just the square root of y. I can bring the 5th back in. So that means y to the 5th, and the square root, there should be a 2 right there, so 5/2. Okay. Now we'll do some more simplifying. Try another color. I guess back to black. You can't read it unless it's. Should I go to a medium? Maybe that. Then I can use other colors. Okay. So let's simplify 25 to the negative 3/2, and we'll leave it in exponential form, but it should be a little bit simpler format than this. Let's see what we can do with this. All right, first still with a negative sign. So this is 1 over 25 to the positive 3/2. Then let's deal with the exponent. This is 1 over the square root of 25 to the 3rd power. I'm going to leave that 3rd power outside the radical because I know what the square root of 25 is. It's 5. So this is 1 over 5 cubed. You know what 5 cubed is? 125. So I'm going to simplify this to 1 over 125. I think the simplification goes a little quicker if you do that. It really doesn't matter which one you do first. Truly, it'll all work out in probably the same number of steps. All right, let's try 32 to the 3/5. Oops. 32 to the 3/5. Okay. Don't have any negatives in here, so now I'll just play around with this 32 to the 3/5. This is the 5th root of 32 to the 3rd power. I think I'll leave that 3rd power on the outside because I know what the 5th root of 32 is. It's 2. So this is 2 to the 3rd power, which is 8. The 5 on the bottom of the fraction becomes the 5th root. The fifth root of 32, I knew what that was. It's 5. It's 5. It's 2, sorry. Okay, so now we'll simplify things in just a little bit harder form. Let's go. Oh, well, this looks beautiful. X to the 2/3 times y to the negative 1/4. All of that to the negative 4 power. Blech. So if I have like x to the a to the b, that is x to the a times b. I remember that rule. Of course, I've taught it a billion times. So x to the 2/3 y to the negative 1/4 to the negative 4 power is x to the 2/3 times negative 4 times y to the negative 1/4 times negative 4. Okay. X to the 2/3 times negative 4 is x to the 2 times negative 4, negative 8/3. What's y to the 1/4 times negative 1/4 times negative 4? Ah, that's 1. So that's just y. So the only part I got to clean up here is the x to the negative 8/3. So that is 1 over x to the positive 8/3. All of that times y. If I want to simplify this, I don't want a multiplication problem. Multiply the numerators. 1 times y is y. Multiply the denominators. X to the 8/3 times 1. And there you go. Yes? So if I want to, if I'm asked to leave it in radical form, then I'll need to change that to the 3rd root of x to the 8th. If they're not being particular, I can leave it in that fractional exponent form. Sometimes you'll be asked, don't leave anything in fractional exponents. Yes. You would still be correct unless I said something differently. Oh, okay. The y is still on the top, and this is the cube root of x to the 8th. Yes, ma'am? This part is not on the quiz. Yeah, kind of liked this, huh? Well, too bad. That's not on the quiz. All right. Next slide. What's going to be on the quiz? We'll call this the quiz notes. It's that chisel point. It's not a good point, the chisel point. Maybe I just need the medium point. Let's try that. Quiz notes. The fine point was looking a little bit too fine. Fine with that? Okay. All right. So you need to be able to do about 1, 2, 3, 4 things for the quiz. This is all. Simplify radicals. Will you stop, please? Okay. For example, simplify the cube root of 27 times x to the 4th. Do you need to see how that's done? Or are you good? All right. So what's the cube root of 27? 3. And then, okay, let me write it all the way out so we can review. 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. X to the 4th is x times x times x times x.